There we go. Hi there, everybody. Sorry I've had a little slow upload to get started tonight for some reason. Alrighty, well, thanks for joining me again for another Make It With Me Monday. We are up to episode 47, if you can believe that. Super exciting. I'm so glad that I started doing this with you guys 47 weeks ago. Before we get started, I wrote myself a little note for a reminder. I have 2 classes currently up in the events page of my Facebook page, which you can find right here, facebook.com/Tracy's Ink Spot. There is a Stack and Shuffle class that features Ever Eden designer series paper. You can make 4 cards, and there'll be, hi Kathy, good to see you tonight, and some other extra materials. Hey Jesse, thanks for chopping in. You'll get materials and next to the video on how to put that together. It's a new quick and easy method I've discovered for making multiple cards at once. So a Stack and Shuffle I'll be offering quite often. That one's $15. And then there's an in color class where you'll get a sampling of each of the inks, designer series paper, gems, and enough materials to make 10 cards with the outgoing in color class. So that's the Cinnamon Cider, Bumblebee Jade, Magenta, and Moonlight. So that one just posted, I believe, like a day or so ago. And that one's $35, but again, you get 5 little ink pads. You're going to get designer series paper, gems, enough for 10 cards. So it's pretty good amount of material for that class, for that $35 price point. So again, go to my Facebook page, look for them on the events page, and then hit going. That tells me, yes, I want to take this class. Interested tells me maybe. And then, of course, you can always say there's also the no option or whatever. But remember that going tells me, yes, I want this class. All right, let's see what we needed for tonight. We needed some cardstock. That is our standard card base, so 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green. And then in that same color, you needed a piece that was 3 1/4 by 4. Again, mine's Granny Apple Green. Then a neutral, that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then you need a 4 by 5 1/4 in case you want to do something for the inside and you have a dark colored cardstock. Then you would want that to be a little bit larger at the 4 by 5 1/4 point. And then you needed some kind of piece or shape or something with your messages. Oh, Jesse, I'm so glad you're looking forward to those classes. Hopefully you already have your Eden one because that was already mailed out. So let me know if you don't have it yet. Let's see, so some kind of piece to put a phrase or something on. You could use a punched shape, just a piece of plain neutral cardstock. You want it about no less than 1 inch wide and about no larger than about 2 3/4. So play with that as it is, depending on, of course, what phrase or anything that you find. And then you want to have a solid image stamp that is about a medium to large size, and you want an ink pad that matches your initial cardstock. So, of course, I have my Granny Apple Green ink pad. And I'm going to be using, in my demonstration tonight, Hello Ladybug. This is in the January to June mini catalog, and you can find the ladybugs on page 20. It does have a matching punch where you can punch out the body and the wings and create and build ladybugs either out of plain cardstock, or you can stamp elements. So you can see there's the body and the wings and the dots to fill in the wings. You can stamp elements out and create your little ladybugs from there. So I'm going to be using this big leaf stamp that comes in the Hello Ladybug. So again, large size image and solid image that's going to be on. So first we're going to, and you also need your paper trimmer. All right, so you can set aside our neutral stuff for now. I'm going to be using a photopolymer stamp, so I've got my little extra squishy mat. All right, so grab your cardstock, the smaller piece, and grab your ink and your large image. And so, oh good, Jesse, I'm glad it's there. All right, so then you're going to take this and you are going to randomly stamp all around. Don't leave too much space in between. And I like to vary up the way, as you can see, every time I go to put it down again, I turn it a little bit. Or you could turn the paper. That works too. So you want them not necessarily to be all facing the same direction. You do want them to go off the edge so that it looks much more finished that way. If you're ever using stamps as a background image, it looks much more finished piece if you have those going off the edges like that. All right, so go ahead and fill up that piece of cardstock. And I will clean that off later. All right, then you are going to grab your paper trimmer, and we are going to turn this into 4 1-inch strips. So you know it's 4 inches wide. Let me bring it up a little bit. So I'm literally just going to work my way down 3 inches. And then 2 inches. And then 1 inch will of course then leave me with 1 inch remaining. Like that. Okay. Now we're gonna reassemble that onto, so you wanna lay them out in the order so that it looks like the way you stamped it. Now grab that neutral piece, that smaller neutral piece that is the 3 3/4 by 5. And we're gonna leave a little bit of a border on each side and each between. So it's gonna go right about there. So you can see kind of like how it's a little bit, normally our border might look like about like that. It's gonna be a little bit wider border. And if it makes you more comfortable, you could do the 2 edges and work your way in. So I'll show you how that would look. So then you're gonna take this one. And the trick, of course, is just to make sure that you've got them all going the right direction. Okay, so those are my base pieces there. Now you know these 2 are gonna get centered in between. So if that helps you for assembly purposes, that's the way that's gonna go. All right, whoops. I have extra sticky tape tonight or something. It keeps sticking to my fingers. All right, and then that piece is gonna go there. Now I can see that my borders aren't quite what I want them to be. And since I haven't burnished it too much yet, I'm gonna lift this one up ever so carefully and move it over just a scooch. Yep, there we go. All right, there, that fills that one in better. And now I will give that a little extra since I lifted it up. Okay, so that is about what you should be looking at right now. You should see your images, again, as you stamp them, but just spread out a little bit with your white showing through. Then you're just gonna go ahead and take that directly to your card front. Now you can decide at that point if you want to put this flat on or if you want it to be popped up. I'm gonna do dimensionals on mine because I always do like to have a little bit, literally, of dimension. And this is a bigger piece, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my bigger ones. And I'm gonna put one in the middle just for some support across the board there. All right. Oh, that piece didn't actually come off. There we go. Okay, and remember, if you do have a piece for the inside, you can go ahead and either stamp it or put your phrase in there, write in it, whatever you're gonna do, and then that piece of neutral would go on your inside panel so that you have something besides your dark surface to write on. All right, then go ahead and take your neutral piece or shape or whatever you did. I took just a piece of 1 inch neutral or white cardstock, and I put my phrase on it, and I did a little banner cut, and that comes from Happy and Heartfelt. Really cute little scripty image verses and phrases that come, let's see, they're in the mini catalog on page 51. I kind of like the script in this one, the font, and there's some cute little like heck yeah and lucky me. So it's a couple different ones, but then you've also got your congratulations and I love you and thank you, happy dad day, happy mom day, and the mom's got a cute little heart in there. So I kind of like that one, and I like the little font on it. So there's my little congratulations, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple dimensionals on him too. And then that can go wherever you think best. I tend to like my right corners here. So there you go. Quick and easy. Another way to use up smaller pieces of cardstock that you might have laying around from other cuts you've made. And a more interesting, a different way to use your big background stamps. Oh, hi Karen, good to see you. Yeah, that'll pop up again after it'll reload right after I'm done filming, and you can catch up from the beginning. So basically what we did is we took our small piece of cardstock while it was still together and stamped all over it with a large image, and then cut it into 1 inch strips and then reassembled it onto that white layer. So hopefully that's a basic catch up for you. All right, and while you guys are going ahead and still working on yours, I'll show you a couple other samples that I did. Instead of grabbing just one like maybe medium to large image, for this one I actually took a background stamp, and I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. Now this one might be a little hard to see. There we go. It's called Gentle Waves. And this is what the stamp looks like. Now, of course, I did it this way because it's a horizontal card. But this is Gentle Waves, and it's in the January to June mini catalog, and it's on page 45. So you could take any of those larger background stamps that you have and then just one stamp across and you're done. So that's a really quick and easy way to do it. And then I used the little mini hexagons that are on page 49. They come in a couple different colors, but that one is black, and this is Coastal Cabana. Then I used a Celebration set called Awesome Otters. These guys are so stinking cute. I love otters. Are one of my favorite animals. I just think they're just adorable. Oh, so cute. So same thing, I stamped the otter all over the background. That's soft suede. And then I stamped him on a piece that I die cut with a Hippo and Friends die. And there's a little bit of stitching on that one. So I took my marker, my suede marker, and I kind of connected all the stitches so it looks like it had been stitched, if that makes sense. And then I used my blends to color him in. I did use my Saddle Brown Stays On ink pad to get a little bit of that background color, not quite so black. So, but yeah, Otter is one of my absolute favorites in this the Celebration offerings. And then to continue with the stitching look, I did a little bit of hand doodling around my tag. So the birthday time comes from there as well. Okay, so that was all inclusive, that one. And then lastly, now honestly, the first time I saw this stamp set, I kind of was a little meh about it, but I loved the dies that matched it. And this one's growing on me. This is Amazing Silhouettes. And the white that you see here in the stamped image is going to remain that color, like whatever background color you use, so white, vanilla, crumb cake, whatever. And the color is just in this shadowy part. And so I took the butterfly and I did put that on my fresh freesia, and because of the way it gets cut up and stuff, you don't always tell that it's a butterfly, so there's just this really random look that showed up. Then there's this matching die set where you can die cut the detail, so you can see the word thanks is the detail, and that's in white, and then there's a freesia layer where it's all solid and you just glue the one on top of the other. And then I added a little bit of freesia ribbon. So that is Amazing Silhouettes and the Amazing Thanks dies, which I thought were super fun to use. All right, and then I'm going to show you my stepped up version of this one, because, you know, who doesn't want to use the ladybug if you're going to be using the ladybug stamp set? Okay, so there is my ladybug. I did the same thing with the background, except this time I added some clear embossing powder, so I don't know if it's going to show up to it, but it's a little shiny. So these guys are, all the big leaves are embossed in just clear powder. Our inks are wet enough that if you hit it right away with your embossing powder, it'll stick and emboss for you. So you can do a clear powder almost over every ink color we've got and get a little bit of embossed effect. So that's kind of a cool little tip in case you didn't know that. Then I did stamp and punch out my butterfly. So I did the red and the black dot part together on the leaves, did him, punched him out, and assembled with gluing the bumblebee, ladybug leaves, or those aren't leaves. Oh my goodness, am I tongue-tied all of a sudden? Wings, there we go, over my ladybug. And then the You Can Bug Me Anytime, of course, does come from that stamp set. And again, I did the little notched tag and added a little Wink of Stella to his little dots in his wings. So I'm in love with Ladybug. I think it's totally, totally cute. But this leaf one also reminded me a little bit almost like a lily pad too. So I'm kind of leaning frog-like too. If I have any frog elements, I might work some of those into that piece as well. All right, so let's review. Here's the one I did on camera, and there it is, just a little bit stepped up. Like I said, I just added an extra image and embossed instead of the just the plain background. And there's those guys there. So yeah, this should be a really quick and easy assembly for you. Again, especially if you use a background stamp, that's one quick image and you're done. It'd be a really easy way to make a big stack of cards in a very short period of time. I'm all about quick and easy, along with pretty, of course. So this, I think, gives you a little bit of a wow on some things, and it's a nice layout. I like the little blast of color against the white, so lots of fun ways to play with that. I would also consider swapping out this neutral piece for like black potentially, or navy blue, something dark there, and maybe going the other way. So switch out where the color and the white are and just see what that might look like. That would be one way to go as well. All right, everybody, that should be it for tonight. I will go ahead and get this uploaded, and if you've stamped along with me or plan to do it later, please be sure and share your project. You can post it to the link or to the comments right under the link for this video and show me what you had going on with this particular layout. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye now.